There we go, everything's on, so I can go ahead and loosen up my 2 bolts. I can guide my carburetor past my spring. You just have to turn it just a little bit. Make sure your mud flap is down so you don't break that in between the swing arm and the rear tire. Now I'm gonna take my I was caught on where my lower swing arm bolts on. Now I'm making sure that my carburetor is on the intake boot properly, and it's inside the boot. Now I'm just going to tap it a little bit to get that started in that boot. And there we go. It's inside the boot. Now I'm going to make sure my vent tubes are down where they belong. Get those away from the chain. And I'm reattaching my gas line. Now I'm replacing my lower swing arm bolt on the clutch side and tightening my upper swing arm bolt on the clutch side. Don't forget to tighten these up. Now I'm replacing my lower swing arm bolt on the brake side. And tightening up the upper swing arm bolt on the brake side. Now I'm tightening the collar that holds the carburetor in the intake boot, and I couldn't hold the clamp still and the camera still, so I went ahead and skipped that part. Now I'm reinstalling my silencer onto the expansion chamber, and you want to push it all the way up and make sure these bolts line up. That'll be far enough. And go ahead and replace your bolts on your silencer. Now this is that little swing arm, or that little chain guide that we had to remove to get our carburetor past there. That way we don't have to remove our spring. And I'm just showing you that you can reach around with one finger on either side of the frame and get that started by hand. And now I've got my 3/8 drive T-handle from the other side and a 10mm, and I'm just showing you that you can tighten this up. You know, I'm guiding the T-handle in right behind the kickstarter on the other side. And then while holding it, I can go ahead and finish tightening it. It should be just about level. This prevents your chain from coming up. Now I'm reinstalling my seat, and you can reinstall the bolt in the bottom. Now this is how you tell if you have enough throttle cable. If you don't have this much cable sticking out right to the end of your handlebar, then something's kinked or bound in the inside. Again, I just pull it a couple times just to test to make sure it's operating smoothly. And go ahead and thread your throttle cable back into the housing. Go ahead and thread it in all the way. And then take your throttle cable and reattach it. You may have to hold your throttle up. See, I'm holding it with my thumb here. It's kind of hard to see that I'm actually holding it. But there you can see I'm holding it with my thumb and get that lined up in that groove. And then take your white disc and your brass piece, which I've already had in there. If you hold it with your thumb there like I am, you can just test your throttle operation just to make sure everything's smooth. And then reinstall your cover. Doesn't have to be sitting flush while you screw this down. Everything will suck together once you screw these bolts down. Want to make sure again you're not over tightening anything. Go ahead and check it again one more time just to make sure those are nice and snug. And the operation of the throttle is still good, so nothing's bound or kinked inside there. We should be good. Go ahead and replace your rubber boot. Again, make sure you don't scratch or you don't rip this boot. You want to take your time when you're putting it back on. Everything should line up. And again, I've turned this on my bike to give you a better view. This should be facing straight up in the air. Okay, I want to thank you for watching my video on jetting a carburetor. I would appreciate any comments or suggestions. And have a great day. Thanks.